Hello, YouTube. Are you ready to rock?
They're not ready.
Let me
We're
hear you
not ready for this.
stream, YouTube. Woo!
We gotta get an algorithm.
We were just talking, yeah,
Man, fuck that brain.
mini bikes and freedom.
Yeah,
It's
the
funny.
good old
Adam
days.
Carolla was talking about that. Wasn't he going off about that on Tuesday or
Y-
Wednesday this week? He was
Like the
talking
fall of
about the
society. It's
Oh yeah,
mini
because
biking.
of yeah, Ian Ziering
oh
getting
Ian Z
attacked.
oh yeah. Excuse me, it's Ziring.
I'd love to
Ian
see that video.
Ian Ziring is his name. Is
Ziering,
how you pronounce it, please.
Ian Ziering. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Is it? I'm not really sure.
It is
Ian? Is it Ian?
Ian.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. If my parents named me Ian, I'd be like, I would change it to Ian.
What do you have
Yeah.
against Ian?
I don't know.
The pronunciation, I
It,
should say.
I don't
it
know.
feels like it's one of those names where you're always correcting someone, and like at some point you would not want to do that anymore, you know? Any
Or you'd want
name
to
they
switch
say
back and
Quana,
forth
I'm
so
like,
you can
yep,
correct
that's
people.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a personality. His name
Uh,
is his personality. And anybody that I would like to get to see like punched in the face, he's like got a good punchable face, right? With the curly hair. Is that the guy from
Man,
90210?
what do you do to
Right?
you, Quana?
the blonde-haired guy?
Yeah.
Isn't that who it
Oh,
is? Isn't
yeah,
that
you know,
who
she's got
Ians are? He's
I think
Sharknado. Like he's got a
He's
little bit of a
Irish. Isn't he?
okay.
I don't know.
Well,
Why would you attack your own,
shout
Quana?
out to our people.
I don't think so. I don't know what kind of name is Ian Ziering. I guess that sounds pretty German.
There you go again, stirring the pot, Christopher.
I've done nothing. Done
Okay.
nothing. Never set up a camp.
Can you guys
Other,
hear my
like from
ice?
a, other
Can
than
we
like a
hear what?
regular camping camp.
A camp for your children,
Yeah,
not like
never
a
set up a camp, never like rounded people up or anything like that. No, just
that's good.
never participated
That's
in
good.
any of that kind of stuff.
Until now,
Good,
ladies and
good,
gentlemen,
good.
recently unearthed.
Just point out the people that have. Just like to point out
Yeah.
the people that have.
Right. You're just
Uh,
passing the buck. All right,
that
so
was a
go.
wild scene, that whole mini bike attack. And like Adam Carolla was talking about like the lawlessness of all the mini bikes. And at the same time, I just got my son a mini bike to ride around our suburbs and
Cause terror.
not
Are your neighbors
terror,
upset?
like
Do you think your
lowercase
neighbors are
terror.
upset?
I think the
Has he
neighbors are.
had any run-ins?
There's been some Facebook posts in the regular neighborhood Facebook group, which I'm not in anymore. There's not
Were
been
you kicked
any.
out?
No, I left on my own volition.
Okay, just
Uh,
checking. No
but
judgment,
I'm
just
in
checking.
the other group, which is like the rebels, the neighborhood rebels group, where they just post
Hmm.
memes about funny stuff and
Love that.
mock people that you
You
know
found the other group.
post
Yeah.
stupid stuff. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I don't know what we're talking about. But
The mini bikes.
there's been some posts about it, but I think people are conflicted in general because they're like me and they're just like, that's pretty loud, but it's also pretty awesome.
It
And
harkens back.
it smells like gasoline and oil burning, but it also smells pretty awesome. It smells like my youth a little bit, like smells like that my older sister's boyfriend that used to drive that car, like back way back. Like it's kind of smells kind of good, and
I've
you
seen
know,
a couple of like TikTok videos of Karens like really going after the kids, like grabbing the
mhm.
handlebars and like really going after the kids. So
Yeah, I
just is
don't,
he aware
don't.
of that? Yeah.
He's aware of Karens. He's aware of the
Okay, good.
police. He's aware of the cops, as let me know.
Yeah.
The ultimate
Fuzz is out.
Karens.
You need to teach him the fuzz.
They really do. Like him and his two buddies in their three-person gang, they really do. Like if they see police, they veer off.
That is so great.
Even
Well, I mean,
Like abort.
not because they know they're doing something wrong. It's because they're just like, am I doing something wrong? Like, am I supposed to be riding in this street right now? Like, I better just turn left and kind of go the other direction. I
Yeah,
like where its head's at. I like the instincts.
sure, sure.
But yeah, I think it's conflicted because people are kind of like don't like it or don't like the noise or like they're in a real safe world, so they don't like this thing that sounds unsafe, but also they wish they were riding one.
Hmm.
So is he like
One
just riding
like
around the
100%.
neighborhood, or is he like on a trail? Is there a trail behind your houses, or
Uh,
both?
he says there are trails and he comes
Okay.
home and the bike is all muddy and I'm just like there
Yeah.
are no trails around here. What are you doing? And I think they're just riding off the sidewalks and there's like a lot of walking and hiking like no, I'd say like walking and biking trails like intermixed
Yeah.
through neighborhoods, just as you would expect nowadays. And I think they just go like wherever they can, they go off
Gotcha.
and into like open areas where they can just spin their
Yeah.
wheels or just get dirty.
And there's three of them.
Mhm.
I love that. Cute. Cute.
It is. But I say that because I feel the same way because it is kind of like it's kind of scary, when I see
Yeah.
my son like riding off and I know like,
Yeah, but once he
what
has
could
the balance.
happen.
Sure.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, but I love that freedom he's feeling. And it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
that I think for a period, like a lot of kids, maybe like the large part of a generation never got that feeling of being left home alone.
Hmm.
And I was like, that was like a daily feeling, like every
He
morning,
was
every
always alone.
afternoon. Me and I had stepbrothers at the time, but our parents would leave us alone for like 34 minutes from the point where they had to go to work and we had to leave to get to the bus stop.
Right.
And that was 34 minutes of pure pandemonium, pure, like we would take our living room and like in an instant convert it into like an indoor soccer stadium. Like
For
usually we would
34
take
minutes.
anything breakable would like go behind something and we would just go, it was like a cage match. And
That's
then
so
like
funny.
2 minutes before we had to leave, because we'd be watching the clock, this big, digital clock of the 80s, we would just
Sure.
put everything back and just run out the door. We were like scientists, like forensic scientists, where we knew exactly where everything was
And the speed and agility
and the
you could do it with
speed.
to get it
Yeah, like
back.
we did that. We did that like every morning, every afternoon for like less than 1 hour. It was
Yeah.
like pure pandemonium.
Joy,
And then
fun.
my parents would come home, like my mom and my stepdad would come home, and we'd be like sitting there watching TV, like in a sweat.
Yeah.
Like
Sure. Arms
it was
crossed.
like it was like that's what Step Brothers, that scene where they're like,
What are you doing?
why are you sweating? It's like, no, just watching Cops.
Yeah.
That was like us. And they would be like, why does it smell like sweat in here? Like, and they
Oh
would look at
yeah.
a lamp. They would look at a lamp and like, why is this lamp a little bit different? Like a little pointed different? And we'd just be sitting there sweating, watching cartoons. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what you're talking about? No, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you know what you're talking about.
You're crazy, man.
I used to love catching my son in like weird little boy shit. Like, oh, we're going this way, and I said, oh, don't walk on the main street. You can go, but you have to walk on the back streets. Like, walk through the neighborhood. I'd say, you know what? Let me go roll that main street and catch this little motherfucker. And there he would be walking with his friends on the main street, full
I don't
over,
know if
bust
my mom didn't
ass.
do that because she couldn't, like she was at work. So like that was a whole
Right,
part of us. Like she would tell us that, yeah, she would make sure that we knew that she was clocking in and clocking out at these times for us.
right,
So we'd be like,
right,
oh, okay, thank you very much for telling us the exact times that you
right.
would be that you'd be basically locked in a cage away from us that we could just do
Yeah.
whatever we wanted. Like, thank you very much. So that's like, we were
Yeah.
savvy. We were savvy. That generation, we were savvy.
This just in. Oh, Chris is pro women in cages. Um,
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, metaphorically,
Yeah.
she was,
Yeah.
I think they would say the same thing.
oh my God.
Mhm.
All right, Senor, go ahead and start recording the audio and let's get this underway. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 178, I'm told, of your Endless Ranters podcast. My name is Chris, and I am a mostly peaceful dad from North Texas. I like to drink beer and stare at fire, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. My other hosts are the Soggy Mom from the Crunchy Mom world. It's Quana. How you doing, Quana?
Good, Christopher. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Been gone a
Festivities,
while.
all that. Happy Festivus,
Festivus, Hanukkah,
belatedly. Yep.
Kwanzaa.
And there's I don't really get down with the
All right.
manufactured stuff, but like, or if it's manufactured, it has to be manufactured like 2000 some years ago.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Like 70s, no. Anyway, it's Man's Plan. It's producer Manny. What's going down, old man?
Are you feeling the rhythm? Are you feeling the rhyme? Is the real question, Christopher.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I am, but my rhyme and rhythm is just not great. It's like a little off. I mean, can you blame? I mean,
Happens. It
yeah,
happens. You're 50. What are you gonna do? How much rhyme and
50.
rhythm do you have for a lifetime? I mean, I'm sure you exerted it early on.
Yeah, my dad's Korean, my mom's white. It's like, is there like a chance that I'm gonna have rhythm? No,
Did you get a ton to start? Exactly.
no. I
Probably
gotta go out
not.
there
Start
and
at
learn it. I gotta take classes for that.
yeah, the rhythm deficit is what you're saying. I got you.
I mean, challenged, it's like that's not really deficit. That's negative. It's a negative connotation. I don't really appreciate that micro attack right now. Right now.
On this
Oh my
new
God.
year.
Well, yeah, happy New Year. Happy to be here again once again with everybody. Thanks for all the support, tuning in, listening, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Holla
Everybody
to
was
our
on
new Irish
vacation.
listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
Happy
listeners
Friday.
abroad.
Happy New Year. Happy Friday to everyone out there,
Yeah.
except for, of course, anyone that is the purveyor of fake meat and
That's
or trying to get
obvious.
my
I
boy
mean,
Donald Trump kicked off ballots. Like, that's not cool. It's not cool. It's not going to fly. Not going to fly. So, your year is going to be bad.
aren't
But
his numbers though like going like record breaking because of all of this stuff? Like, isn't it like not working the way they wanted it to?
yeah, I feel a
Or is
certain
that
way about it.
just a Fox News point?
I feel a certain way about it. I feel a certain way what I'm going to do about it. But at the same time, I am also very fascinated by this human experiment that we got going on and like all the crazy stuff going on. Like, because he is like
We had
incredibly
aliens in a
popular in some
mall
way.
today. Oh, yeah. Him?
They were just Cubans.
Yeah.
It's Cubans. It's offensive. Another micro attack against the people. I'm just kidding. But
Are you the micro?
yeah, I'm the victim here. If it's not clear,
No, I was going to ask if you were the micro attack police or the
I'm going
micro
full. I'm going full victim 2024.
That's your resolution.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Stop it. That's all I'm saying to the world.
Nice.
Stop it to me. Stop
Okay.
doing this. Stop doing this to me and my kind.
Stop it.
Well, if we're
Like it.
giving,
That's good.
yeah, if we're rattling off resolution, mine is I'm gonna double down and fight the ninja this year. So
Yeah, the ninjas need to come back. Like there was a ninja culture.
no, they don't.
Oh, they don't. Oh, okay.
No, I'm fighting the ninja. Like we got to get rid of the ninja in 2024. Remember, everybody, fight the ninja.
Are you talking about the
2024.
Suzuki Ninja?
No, I
Or
have no beef.
the Suzuki. What was that? What ninjas? Okay, feel free to go into more detail about this anti-ninja.
I've already said too much. All I'm saying is that that's my resolution for 2024 is fight the ninja. So let's just keep on going with this whole Trump getting kicked off the ballot.
My new resolution is to
Well,
figure out what the hell you're talking about.
It does not matter, Christopher.
Hmm.
we
It's
went and saw
shrouded in
a Reiki.
secrecy.
We went and saw a Reiki person last year, and she told uh the part that he was a samurai in a past life, and like he knew me, and there was like this whole connection, and he was like super emotional after. And then like 2 days later, we were laying in bed, and he said, "You know what? I think that Reiki lady told me the plot to the last samurai."
Ricky Lake. I got
No,
real confused when
Reiki.
you said Ricky lady.
Reiki.
She's Reiki. The Reiki lady told him the plot to the last samurai, like that it wasn't
So
an
listen,
actual story.
I don't have much to work with,
Like
so I'm
she,
just grasping at straws.
Okay, I don't like asking questions like
or
this, but I never heard. What's the Reiki lady?
it's like somebody who does is it called
Reiki,
Reiki, like
yeah.
they do crystals, like they do your aura, they like run your hands over you, and they like can pull things from your body.
Put a crystal up your butt,
It's
all
new
sorts of weird
age, if you
stuff.
will.
I
Yeah.
can
New
picture
age, if you
that. Not, I've said too much, but like I never heard the term
will.
Reiki lady.
Well, she was a lady. So I'm just calling her the Reiki lady. She has a name. I don't want to say it, but
Could you
she has
spell
a name
Reiki?
because
Like so I don't understand.
R it's Reki, right?
I think it's
Reiki?
Reiki. Hold on, let me check.
Okay.
I think it's Reki.
Yeah,
I think
Reiki.
Coop is a Reiki lady. Not a Reiki
It
lady, but I think he's like a Reiki specialist. Master.
Okay.
I think they call themselves masters.
I'm gonna
Reiki
I'm gonna
masters.
I'm gonna like do a private search on this later. Try to figure it out, but I'm more lost than I was
Okay, I'm
a minute
sorry.
ago.
I thought that samurai and ninjas were on the same page, but that just might be
No, they're not.
Oh,
my
all I know really
ignorance.
is like Tom Cruise did a movie called Samurai, Last Samurai, and also when I was growing up, there was a bunch of movies about ninjas.
Yes, for sure.
That's why you
For
got to
sure.
fight him. That's why you got to join the fight to fight him. So anyway,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like,
Anyways,
I
happy
think
new
the
year.
ninjas were bad back then. I think they were like, I don't know, there's like a whole ninja. There was like Ninja 1, Ninja 2, Ninja 3, American Ninja.
Yeah. The Warrior Show. Love that.
All right, let's get some topics before
before you
yeah,
get
Okay.
completely derailed,
you get mad.
Don't get mad.
get
No,
glad.
everybody's good.
We're
No, but
barely into the new year.
you were touching on that whole Trump getting kicked off the ballots or removed off the ballots, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing with fire. Like it's kind of like there's so many jokes in there and like just clever things to say and whatnot, but dangerous times, Like there's
Hmm.
like a lot of things that are funny about it, then a lot of things that are just like, wow, that's I think these kinds of things have happened, similar to this in history, and it doesn't end well for regular people.
Right.
Like like people get real hungry. Like uh there's a I think I made a post that got some response this week and on the X app where it was just like governments like all around the world are getting real involved in like food production, like control of food production.
Well, that's the thing. If you
It's
can
getting a little
control the
weird.
seed, you control the masses,
Yeah,
right?
it's like I would like to think that they want to keep us all alive
Because they need
and
a
Well,
like
workforce, right?
healthy and all that, but it's like I also like to think that they just like that on off switch. Like just like I like
yeah,
the on off switch on the wall right there, like a dimmer switch too. Even that like makes me feel more powerful when I have a dimmer
Hmm.
switch.
sure, for
So
sure.
I can imagine them where they're just like, we think there should be a little more strife in this area of the world. Like, let me just toggle this thing a little bit. Let me turn this thing down or up a little bit. And
Are
yeah,
you still
weird.
growing food? Are you growing, do you think you're growing enough to sustain your family?
No, no, never. No, no, no. I need to like, that's one of my 2024 New Year's resolutions that I keep to myself that I will share with you is like
Okay.
to be able to just not enough, but like grow, like challenge myself to grow more, like, which might mean planting when it's colder outside or like paying attention to things when it's colder outside and not as comfortable to be outside and
Have you seen those
a little harder.
the hydro ones that you can grow indoors, you can grow in your
I
garage, like
I
all
have
kinds of
I have, but I
okay.
don't like them because they rely on electricity. They rely on a lot of electricity.
You're right. You're right.
You're ultimately buying something on Amazon that costs $200 and is made in China,
Right.
and
You
also
can
allow
make them yourself, but
and
yeah.
also no, don't even make it yourself. Just like do it like your dad did it. But like
Yeah.
also requires you to run this device to sign up for a different app
Sure.
on your iPhone, right? That requires access to this and this and this and that to grow food.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not down with that at all.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible. I mean, I'm not, if that's what it takes for you to get into it, because I think maybe people
Sure.
enter it in that world and then they realize how tethered they are to it and then they
Right.
break free from it. That's okay. I shouldn't be so, absolute about how bad it is because I think it does lead people to, the next stage of that. But
Right.
and it's not like I don't have cable TV or all kind of streaming services, so like who, I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Right.
To
Yeah. Well, goals for 2024, more food in your garden.
yeah, but that was
Sit.
it. Yeah, just really weird. Like in Germany this week, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of farm tractors in the middle of Berlin
Yeah.
dumping thousands
Manure.
of pounds of steaming hot manure. Like it's cold there and the manure is
Mhm.
hot and it stays hot because there's just some kind of weird, like biology going on there. And they just dump it in the middle of the highway in like the middle of Germany. And they're like, it can't happen here, but it happened in Canada.
Well, the farmers need
It's
to make
happening
it
in the
happen. They're letting them
Netherlands.
buy all their
Yeah.
land.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
already done. It's already done here. It's already over
Yeah.
in America. It's already over.
I'm so
Right. And
scared to
unless
eat
people get
vegetables now. I'm like,
real, unless things get really bloody, it's already over here. But like in Germany,
yeah,
Netherlands, the Dutch, same
yeah,
scenes. They seem like they were created by Hollywood, right? In like the movie like
right?
2012 or The Day After Tomorrow. But
Sure.
they're real scenes of thousands of farmers from like the middle of Germany, on like farmland
I,
Germany, that are like driving their tractors. They're spending money because these are like 3 miles to the gallon tractors. They're spending a
sure.
lot of their money to drive their tractors to the capital of their country to dump thousands of pounds of steaming hot cow shit into the streets
Yeah.
to, and they're being filmed. They realize it's 2024 and they're being filmed and their tractor serial numbers are like being broadcast because I'm sure their tractors have like Wi-Fi and all that, like their cloud connected tractors.
Right.
Um, and they're willing to sacrifice that. They're willing to be filmed and like they're probably expecting
They're
German people
standing
to,
up for their
yeah,
people. They're standing up.
they're fully expecting like German Gestapo like police to show up at their farm in a few months with warrants and whatever the hell they can do over there, like kicking down their doors and like killing all their cows or whatever, because they took a stand and drove their tractor to their capital and dumped thousands of, like literally,
Well, they're gonna do
they
the other
literally
part
dumped.
anyways, right?
There was a
Is that
guy. there was a guy doing a video of like, because they spread like manure distribution is not like a joke. It's like a very serious thing in farming. So they have
Right.
machines
Yeah.
that like emulsify and like liquefy the manure and like spray it. There's a video of a guy in Germany like just like spraying liquefied manure all over the steps and fences, cast iron fences of a German like government building, and he's just doing it. And he's probably going to pay the price because they don't really like that. There's no such thing as free speech over there, but like he's doing it. He's literally running a machine that he paid a lot of money for to just spray manure everywhere. And I guess they're doing it because they feel like there's safety in numbers because there are so many people dumping manure in their capital and so
Right.
many people like running these machines to spray liquefied manure on government
I
buildings.
love
They
it.
feel like there's a safety in numbers. And I guess they probably hope that they may not be have their doors kicked down in a few months,
Right.
but they're willing to take the chance. And I would just suggest to the world that if you want to understand those
Save my
things,
dog shit.
well, I was just say like if you want to suggest to the world that like that kind of thing in January 6th, there's like things to worry about. Like you should worry about that when like you radicals out there and even conservatives, like you should worry about when people that have something to lose start acting out and like
Yeah.
risking all these things they have to lose. You should start worrying about that. It's one thing in 2020, the summer of love, when people with nothing to lose were acting out. But when people on
Summer.
January 6th, yeah, well, I should have done air quotes, but I'm lazy. But like,
I love it. It's so
but
good.
like they had nothing to lose and they were acting out. But then on January 6th, like my first takeaway was like, that guy looks like my insurance agent. That lady looks like my
Yeah.
realtor, and she's like doing some crazy shit.
Like
Like these are
barrel rolling over somebody to get through a window.
yeah, like these are people that like weren't like purple haired freaks that had nothing to lose. They were people
Yeah.
that had their own businesses. They had kids in college. They had mortgages. They had insurance agencies that they had started. They had
I
State
think they pushed
Farm.
it though. The Summer of Love pushed like the like we can do
Yeah, I
anything,
think.
right?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
we can do anything, right?
I think January 6th needs to be looked at in that context because I think it was a lot of things, and some of those things were that it was very, very bad, and there were people that went there. I think a very small minority of people that went there looking to do very, very bad things sneakily without weapons. They were looking to cause the most chaos they could, right?
Want to
Like,
know who they're
yeah, and they maybe they were working for somebody else, whatever. But I do think it was just a lot of things. But one of those things it was like some lady from like my neighborhood who was a successful
sure.
realtor, like decided
Yeah.
to fly there and start getting wild and like Facebook living herself,
Yeah.
going
Well,
through
I
a
mean, I
broken
think the
window, and she paid the price. But like in her, like these are not people that with nothing to lose. These are people with a lot of things to lose, and they started getting crazy. That
but
is,
don't you think that they didn't have anything to like there would be no consequences because of what we saw in the Summer of Love? Like that like we can just do whatever we want. We can tear down a statue.
yes,
Why
yes,
can't we
yes,
just walk through a door and
yes,
like I right?
yeah,
Like it just seemed
yes.
like
I totally agree, and that's what I meant by like the context of it. But those are the same people that in the 2020 Summer of Love wanted all those people locked up.
yeah. It's
Like the
I
the
think
white
for
lady,
people
like
I think
I'm sorry, like the white lady that was, I'm pointing at a race just to be very accurate, but like the white lady that was a realtor that was really successful, like within 20 miles of me, like was just had a good business
right.
going that decided to go there.
Yeah.
There's something, I don't know, there's something very strange about that. Like
That she
she
decided to
she
go there. I mean, a lot of people were there just because it was like, I don't know, like,
they did
right?
feel that way, but I think that that lady a year before was wanting the people that were looting and like burning down cities in summer of 2020 to be prosecuted.
Sure.
I'm calling her a hypocrite a little bit, but I'm also saying that, well, everybody's a hypocrite. You show me a human, you show me a hypocrite. But like, I'm
Yeah.
saying that in the context of that, like that, it's very much like I'm agreeing with you. That's very much part of like the psychology of that moment was I just saw people burning down a CVS and nothing was happening to them. Why? I'm going to go in there and kick down. I'm going to go through a broken glass door and then carry
Yeah.
the lectern, like the
Yeah.
lectern of the Congress and
Sure.
smile
But
for
you
the
know what?
camera. And like,
Crowd mentality is wild. Like
yeah,
everybody knows that I sell oils and all this stuff. When you go to those conventions and stuff, Manny went like you like are pumped up. Like you're like it's crowd mentality is wild. Like it's really, really wild. So if you have a bunch of people, crisis actors, call them whatever the fuck you want, but they're in there, they're like riling up the crowd, like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Like we're human, we're emotional, we're animals,
there's a,
we're a lot of things. And
if,
crowds,
yeah, you're right. You're right. I'd say if there was a reason why I doubt the crisis actors narrative is because when I was in high school and I was like 17, 16, 17 years old, I read a book. It was an autobiography by Jim Morrison called No One Here Gets Out Alive. And the big takeaway for me from that book was the mob mentality because when he was at his concerts, right? And
yeah.
his his crowd, his audience was a mob. He would like scream at them and kind of shame them a little bit, right? Because
Is that
for being a mob, because he was
right?
saying to them, because he, like, I love Jim Morrison. Like, that book was extreme, like, incredibly
What
informative in my life because he pointed out that mob mentality. And, like, even in the 60s, he was comparing that mob mentality of like the hippies who
yeah,
wanted to kill all the police or whatever
yeah.
to the mob mentality of like the Nazis or like the early American settlers who wanted to wipe
His
out.
dad, right? Wasn't his dad responsible for
He was
what
his dad was
happened?
an admiral, or his dad was like a admiral. So I whether he was personally responsible for death or whatever bad
No,
things,
there was like a false flag that
he was
started
in
the
that.
Vietnam War, right?
The
And
Gulf of
he
Yeah, I'm
Tonkin.
was
saying like
maybe linked to the CIA in some way.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't know, but I can understand where like
Yeah.
he was in the 60s. His dad was an admiral. So
Hmm.
he would grow up in this really conflicted state where his dad was this decorated admiral and like half the country was treating him like a god and
Yeah.
half the country was treating him like, hmm, what are you involved in? Whether he was personally
Right.
involved on like the Bay of Tonkin or whatever, like
Right.
you're part of that system. So
Sure.
so you're just suspicious, you know.
I didn't mean crisis actors because I feel like those are different. I meant like there might have been some FBI people in the crowd, you know,
I think they were there
encouraging
to
people to
I think
go
they were
sit.
there to, again, like my Jim Morrison mentality from that era is like, I think they were there to make sure it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't there to like make it happen. They were like
Sure.
to make sure that humans did their human thing and
Yep.
got wild. Like
Yeah.
they
And when
weren't
there's a
like,
crowd,
these are very smart people. These are not like Neanderthals doing these things. These are very intelligent, very like psycho in tuned people that understand what kicks a mob off.
and the people that were there have been played since 2020 like frogs in the pot, and they just turned it up and they
Mhm.
turned it up and they
Yeah,
turned
they've
it
been
up
like
and
the
they
people that
turned
are
it up.
doing this, the people that, in my opinion, I'm not a CIA agent from the 60s, but like the people that are
Are you
doing,
sure?
pretty sure, I've seen Above the Law many, many times with Steven Seagal movies. I've seen a lot of Steven Seagal movies,
So good. Same.
but like I wasn't there, but it's like, yeah, it just kind of makes sense in my understanding of the history of the world that like people were just manipulating things. They've always been in manipulate, like powerful people have always been in manipulating things.
Sure.
Like the weaker people, there's kind of like some people that like want to go off in the wilderness, and there's some people that kind of want to play along and that go along to get along people,
Hmm.
and like the bourgeoisie. And it's just a natural, like I don't really look at it as like a good or bad thing. It's like a right or wrong thing. It's more like it is just what it is, and that's like what humanity is.
Agreed.
I'm sorry, I've been rambling a lot.
I love it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's all right, man. You're a rambling man. It comes with the position, with the
I try not to be.
territory. By the way, I think the word that you were looking for was agent provocateur, Quana. People
Oh
that
boy,
go into the
I don't
crowd,
even know that word.
go in the crowd and rile people up and whatnot. But
I think what gets me, and I don't think either of you think this, but like that
hmm,
those phrases kind of imply that there's a 100% manufacturing of this craziness where it's like,
right.
oh no, we are 99% capable of this craziness, and all we need is like a little 1% to like set us off.
Hmm.
Because we are a species. We are like,
It didn't happen at the Pussy March. All in the same. I'm just kidding. Remember the ladies that had the hats on?
We get it.
yeah,
Women are better than men. We
it's a
get
very
it.
traumatizing time for me, with the hats and like the anatomy and like the bewilderment, like the
Do you think we'll get any more anatomically correct hats this year at any
I
protests?
hope
I mean, it is an
uh
election year, so
again,
Uh,
the trauma has
I might
been.
just make myself one little pussy hat. I'll wear it next week.
I remember seeing Madonna on that stage. Like, have I not been with enough women? Like, what? I don't. What is that shape? I don't. I was very confused. Like, I was like, I don't think that's what it looks
And then
like.
hearing like Charlize Theron be rude and mean, like we've only sexualized her the entire time she's been on the screen.
I feel like she sexualized me. That's what I
yeah.
feel.
Exactly.
She's used me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna flip it on you.
I
Like, you
like
don't
it.
think she's smart? You don't think she knows what she is? Like, you don't think she knows how to get by, like $14.50 at the theater? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, y'all want to pretend like you don't know what's going on, but like, yeah,
But we
just
know.
Sure.
you just wielding power.
It's crazy. Yep.
Oh,
So I have to ask, are you worried at all about this biker gang that your kid started,
nope,
founded?
no.
No.
Not
Okay.
at all.
I'm worried about. I'm like a little worried about the people that have like all their Ring cameras set up and like post about it. Like,
Right.
Are they posting about it?
there's been a couple.
It- okay.
I'm not.
All right.
My son's even aware of them because he's got a friend that's got Facebook,
Nice.
and they're monitoring. So they're
Nice.
If
aware.
anything, that would probably like egg them on some more. As we like, let's see how much we could rile up these people in this group.
I tell you what, it's like a whole nother. It's like a whole nother. It's like a Generation X 2.0 because
I love it.
they're acutely aware of like the man and like the people, like the teachers that are trying to like rip the adolescence out of them, right?
Good.
So they're just like, oh, really? Are you?
Yeah.
Let me show you a little bit of this capital A adolescence.
We're gonna need some strong MFers in the next chapter of this
Yeah.
story. So, you
I'm a
know
little
what?
worried because
You're raising a dragon slayer. Like you got to do your
yeah.
best. Like you got to
I'm a
make them
little
strong,
yeah, and then
resilient.
it's a risky bet, because you might end up in a nursing home with Ben Stiller, like, yeah, been so twinkling your fingers because you were like you created a little bit too much of a monster.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that Cats in the Cradle song. It's always out there. They might
Yeah,
not come back. But you know what?
but I'm okay with
You're
it.
s-
I'm
yeah, you're
okay with
supposed
it
to make
because I
your bird fly.
really,
Mother birds throw their birds out of the nest. They throw them out. Like, go. You
I
gotta
really
gotta
like, I
make them
really,
strong.
I try to think back to like those times where I was, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, and just totally unsupervised for an entire day. Like,
Uh-huh.
and we just dig holes and like cut down trees, start fires, throw snowballs at
So many
cars, like
fires.
just like we
So
just
many fires.
I mean, I remember this one time I was digging a hole in the woods and my buddy Robbie Kraft, like I'm not joking, his name was Robbie Kraft. And I know the owners of the Patriots, his name Robert Kraft. I guarantee it's not him
Okay.
Right.
because
Okay.
Robbie Kraft had a shitty bike. And we used to joke that Robbie Kraft, his whole bike needed tightening. Like that was a joke. It was like a
Oh no. Yeah,
everything needed tightening.
I know what that means though. I know what that
Yeah, it was
means.
just falling apart all the time. But I'm digging a hole with a shovel in the middle of the woods. And this MFR was like brought his dad's driver and golf balls up into the woods with a tee. And then I'm digging a hole in this hole. I'm like almost body deep in this hole. He's hitting golf balls off the rim of this hole I've dug, and he hit me in the head. I might explain. I've been hitting the head multiple times,
Yeah, for
Explains
but
a
sure.
lot.
he hit me like hit in the head like 130-mile-an-hour golf ball, like square in the head. While I was digging a
My
hole in the
cousin
dirt,
jumped off the roof thinking he could fly
I
with
was
because he had a Christmas underoos cape. Like there
yeah, yeah. I had underoos back in the
was
day. That
no
made us that was
there was
very
no supervision.
yeah. There was very empowering. Like my Halloween costume one year was underoos because it was like graphic, like Aquaman, whatever,
Wonder Woman,
whatever you wanted to be. Well, yeah, for
only one
Batman.
for me.
I mean, one year when I was confused, my dad set me straight.
No pun
But
intended.
like, yeah, there was just some strange times. Yeah, strange times
Yeah,
back then where
no supervision, just
there was no
living
supervision
La Vida
whatsoever.
Loca.
We were
I
just
love
digging
that
holes, like getting
intensity.
hit in the head with golf balls, starting fires, like having the like I remember multiple times. Jaden's talked about this too. He's done worse, but like multiple times we'd be doing stuff and we heard sirens that just like run. And they were like literally coming for what to clean up whatever we were doing.
Salad
Yes.
days.
My
It was
cousins
good
definitely,
times.
I was with them. They made me steal matches, and then we went and caught a field on fire, and
Yeah.
we had to run from it.
And then I was
Like,
like, then Monday morning I was going to school, like eating cafeteria pizza, and it was delicious. Delicious.
Well, what did that
no
feel
one
do to
cared.
you?
I was like guzzling chocolate milk, eating French fries,
None
eating
the
cafeteria
wiser.
pizza. Like this is a life, man.
No wonder you were acting a fool. All that
This is
random ass
this is a
junk food.
this is a free country. That's what I was thinking
So
about.
much better.
They were pounding in our
Uh,
head back then, like this is a free country, free speech, free. They were pounding in our head. Now it's like
yeah,
it's different now, but like back
Hmm.
then it was like go off, young man. Like get
yeah,
fucking, like get like we encourage you to get crazy.
Hmm.
word.
I mean, it's part of our show mantra. Do what you want, right?
Yeah, and then it was like, yeah, then there was like a period where it was like, you know, you need to put your kids on drugs to control that crazy.
It's like I thought drugs are bad, man. What do you mean?
And I was like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to prescribe my kid a mini bike.
50
Yeah,
cc's.
no, no drugs for the kids. We
The
escaped that,
freedom,
thankfully.
freedom, freedom. Because back then, freedom was the drug.
Yeah. My son got a lot of, and he's still running with the same group of boys since like when he was little. They're still running amok downtown. I can't even imagine the things that they're doing and the girls and all the things that I can't even imagine, but it's the same group of absolute hooligans. Just
And here you
ah,
are advocating for their
Yeah, I'll be honest. Me and
hooliganism.
my friends from high school, we have stuff to lose now. So we're like, we're being kind of careful.
yeah, but they have not, they're just still, I mean, I don't think my son knows where his car's at half the time. He's like, oh,
Put an air
Oh,
tracker on it so you know he doesn't misplace it, just to be on the safe
yeah.
side.
He reported it stolen once and oops, went walking to another day drinking bar and oh, there's my car. Not
Oh my
exactly
God.
stolen. Yeah.
It's like,
I like
hey,
to think,
police, cancel that APB. Found my car.
That's what he, yep.
there's
Absolutely.
always, you have to believe there's always change, societal change, but I just pray, I want to believe that it is a pendulum, right? That it never gets stuck in one place or never gets like going in one direction in outer space and just never stopping,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but that it does have some gravity to it and keeps coming back. And I can
I
accept
think
the back and forth. I can accept that because that's the human condition, the
sure.
back and forth. But like, as long as we're guaranteed the back and forth, I'm okay with that.
Sure.
It's good. It's dangerous. Like,
Where AI comes in and
there's
then
some
we
kind
don't
of,
know what the back or forth to that is or
yeah, there's a Thomas Jefferson quote that's going around lately about preferring dangerous peace
Right.
to safe slavery or something like that.
I'm
Just
sorry.
like realizing that like if you want freedom, it can get hairy. It can get
Hmm.
hairy,
sure.
Oh, right.
right? But if you want a life where safety is guaranteed,
You're gonna have to give
Right.
up your freedom.
it's going to cost a lot,
Yeah.
and you will be a slave
Sure.
to your iPhone 15 and your
We already are.
televised
Imagine if you
fireplace
can't get a service. You
and
can't get
Your
service.
Zoom
I know.
account.
I don't even have anything to burn in here. Like there's nowhere to burn
Yeah,
anything. I don't even have a
yeah,
real
yeah. You get
fireplace.
into a place where it's like to burn stuff. It's extremely expensive
Yeah.
to have wood delivered to you.
I know. I told Manny a couple of months ago, I accidentally ordered, like, sometimes I put stuff in my Amazon cart when I'm stoned or drunk or whatever, and I just like add stuff. And then Bill will be like, hey, order me a light bulb for this room. And so I order it, and then like all of my weird shit just goes through because so I have like a hundred and
Conveniently,
something lighters.
conveniently.
I have so many like custom lighters with like little weird Bic things. And I'm like, maybe one day, like
Oh, if I didn't
somebody's
have
gonna need all this fire.
if there wasn't that save for later button in your Amazon cart, I would have like dozens of tactical shovels, fire
Oh yeah.
starters, like like
So many.
like
Look at
fire
look at
pits. Like
this.
just there'd just be like, yeah.
This is a jar of lighters that I ordered accidentally on Amazon.
Just a whole jar.
I really like those
I feel like
flint, like the magnesium lighters, like the flint. They're kind of like old school flint sticks. You've seen those before.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I like
Zippos with
starting when I do go out of my fully electrified home,
Uh-huh.
gas powered and all the home. But when I do go out in the backyard, I do like to like start a fire in the fire pit, like
yeah.
like kind of primitive, like to have it's not even primitive because it's a magnesium, like mined magnesium fire stick that's been formed in a
Right.
cylinder, like with a blade attached to it. But like, just want to start that with a spark.
Nice.
I think that, I
I
don't
like
know. There's
that.
something to that.
And that's what you're going to teach the
I
kids
guess if
when you
there
go
was on Amazon,
camping. And I think,
if yeah, if Amazon sold like rocks, like little rocks,
sure.
like banging
No,
against
I'm
each
just
other.
saying, like, they say, like, what are you going to have to offer if shit goes down? Like, I got a bunch of lighters. Like, I can help people start fires. I got thousands of
Even a lighter that doesn't even have the butane in it anymore,
Hmm.
that can create a flint spark. If you have dryer flint or like
Yeah.
birch bark or just any kind of kindling, whatever Spanish moss, like dried out stuff, like that's good. Like
Yeah.
a a Bic lighter that has been depleted for 20 years is still useful and weighs
Yeah.
nothing to put in a pack too. So
Word. Ugh.
Well, speaking of
I'm
which,
just gonna,
it's
I'll give up.
since we're talking about online shopping, what do you think about Jason Whitlock's targeted ads that came up?
clearly a gag gift ad, or like Timu just effing with people. Remember, Timu is like is a Chinese company
Right.
that's trying to like knock off Amazon.
Now you've ordered from them though, right? Because
I
I'm
did one
scared to
order.
even click on their ads.
I did one order.
What'd you order?
I was like, just steal my identity. I dare you. I fucking dare you. Steal it. I dare you.
Don't tempt them, bro.
Dare you. But like, I got
I always see
like a
things. I'm like, I always want to be like, hey, Christopher, can you order this for me and see if it comes through? I'll pay the shipping.
like. I invite you to take a sip of my toxicity,
Okay.
please. No,
I'm not bold enough. I do order off the TikTok shop though. And today I
what's
got a
what's the
package.
difference? It's the
I
same thing.
do. The guy he like sent me a text message to my phone. How he got my number, I don't know. He's like, I need your gate code. I have your package. And he sent
Yeah.
like a picture of the package. And then I got a phone call that said, your package has been dropped off by your door. Please grab your package so no one like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
The same like
okay.
weird Kim Jong-un looking dude in a black trench coat, like that shows up at the Temu factory is showing up at the TikTok factory too. Like whatever they, like just like,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. I was
There's no
like, wow,
difference whatsoever.
that's a lot.
And I
Yeah.
would say there's no difference between in Amazon either, because like half this shit you see on Amazon is by like fucking like weird spelling
I
Timbuktu.
ordered
Like
some I ordered some socks, like for some cute socks that have like a little thing on the back of the heel. And I ordered them over a month ago and they keep saying like they're gonna be delivered. They're
yeah,
from somewhere in China.
it's like
They're never
we're
coming.
sorry, we're experiencing a delay in COVID-20
Yeah.
put on these
Yeah.
stocks. So
Bear
coming
with
And then
soon,
I got
us.
pal.
something from the I got
Coming
something
soon in
from the post office
2024.
saying that
Yeah. Oh,
I
your
owed
election year.
postage.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got some special bonus products coming with your election year.
Yeah. Uh
Yeah, Timu. I got like a fish, like a bait trap fishing net.
okay. I like
I
it.
don't. I got the one of those things you strap to your chest to like put your iPhone in
Hmm.
to
All
video
real stuff though. It
yourself.
wasn't
Either
like miniature
doing,
sized or anything.
you got to be real careful of that too. Yeah, like you got to be because they do everything in like millimeters and centimeters, and you're just like, well, how big is this fish trap? Because they're just like it's 1,000 millimeters. This thing. You're just like, what a minute, wait a minute. You got to
Reviews
be a
or
little
perversions.
you got to be a little savvy, or else you're gonna have like a Lego fish trap. It's like the size of a Lego.
Like, what am I gonna do with
Yeah.
this, man?
No,
But
I
in all
mean,
fairness, if you get a Lego fish trap and you demand your 84 cents in refunds, you'll get it. You'll get it because you've also given them access to like your phone and
Hmm.
yeah. Unlike Amazon, I can't get any word on these socks. Like, I just want the socks. I don't care about the money. I just want the socks. Like, I just want the socks.
but I'll be honest, like there's some Chinese guy in like, the CCP that knows I'm real into fishing.
Right.
Like there's a guy that lives at my address that's real into fishing
Yeah.
and so like survival gear. So they know like don't come here. Don't start here.
Yeah. Oh,
This
that's
is
good. That's
That's what
good.
they're trying to figure out. And
You're
then
like
they're like,
flipping it.
then there's a guy in like, New York City that's like ordering like a $2 like European hand satchel.
I ordered little
And
clip
they're like, we're gonna start
holders that
there.
go into
That's where
your
we're gonna start.
vents for sauce. Little sauce holders for your vent. Like,
What do you mean for the
you know,
vent?
Yeah,
for dipping sauces in your
they're not
car. Like they
concerned
go
about
into
they're
the
not
Oh
vent.
my
sure they're
God.
not sure about you. They're like, yeah, we shouldn't start with this one.
It's like,
We
what's
should
this one buying
definitely
now?
like this one's confusing. Like we need a whole nother algorithm and like a factory full of scientists to figure this one out.
It's like, this one needs our own personal agent, a handler.
But for sure we should not F with this one. Like
Yeah,
don't start there.
she's literally never asleep, so you can't sneak in on her
Yeah.
for sure. All
Definitely
my
start
orders
with
come in all the time.
definitely start with the guy that's not ordered but been browsing like
Manny.
European handbags from Temu. That's where you want to start because
That's your
Nice.
go-to.
that guy is questionable and cheap.
Nice.
I'm just cheap. Like, not
Not
questionable,
Yeah,
questionably cheap. Okay.
just cheap.
Good to know.
One dimensional. That's what I'm
I'm
aiming
cheap
for.
too.
Frugal, it's like the good
Yeah.
word for it.
Bill's like, how much does it cost? And then he'll make fun of me when I tell him like it was $18. He's like, oh my God, shut up.
I'm not really aware of how much I'm kind of in or out with like how much stuff costs, but I did notice that I went to Walmart this
Fancy.
Christmas season and it's like I was angry because
Uh,
there's nothing that costs $1 anymore.
Hey
Oh,
Like you
man,
can get like a stick of gum for 99 cents, but there's like
true.
I distinctly remember when my son was born, you could go to Walmart and buy like a million things for 99 cents, like just plastic balls, like stuff to throw at him, you know what I mean?
right.
Stuff
Sure.
to entertain a child. And now it's like all those things cost $5 or three, like $3. All those things cost $3 now.
It's because everybody
Yeah.
wants to play with the kid. It's just like, look, there's only so many balls that we could sell you, so we could
Yeah.
jack up the price.
Everybody wants to throw dodgeballs at their kids. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Hot commodity these days.
The market sees what's happening, so it has to adjust to, accordingly.
And then they figured out they could.
Hmm. That
Walmart
was
was
the
like,
real.
man, like sales are like, there's not as many people buying. Like we raised the price 3 times and 80% of the people are still buying this. Like that, I think that worked out pretty good.
For sure.
Let's try it
It's
once more.
ridiculous. And the prices never go back down. They literally never go back down.
I had a
Ugh, don't get
very,
me started.
a very good seed planting conversation with my son just a few days ago where I told him that government never stops growing until it collapses. In all history, recorded history of mankind, government never becomes self-aware. It's like we should shrink. They're just
Oh,
always expanding. And I was like telling him, this is like a very short conversation just to plant a seed.
Until it becomes an unrecognizable, unmanageable blob that can't support itself.
until
Yeah, whether it's your school
they all
board,
start building bunkers.
whether it's your school board or like local mayor, local city
Hmm.
council,
Hmm.
local like trash collector, like they are always expanding, expanding. It's just the nature of things. I don't expect him to understand it, but I expect him to think about that
It'll ring out in the
Good,
back of his mind as he grows older.
until they
for
collapse,
sure.
until they're like just they're taking so much from everybody that produces to pay for all these things that don't produce that things collapse and all of a sudden like a bunch of people are really hungry.
And angry.
Yeah. Could you imagine
Yeah, I'm
paying the
pissed. Yeah.
taxes that Adam Carolla pays? I mean, we pay enough in taxes. Everybody should be mad that their money's just flying over to Ukraine and the roads are all fucked up and our food is full of toxins and poisons and
I do, but like,
worms and
you know, the only I really appreciate Ace Man railing on that subject, but like he
yeah,
himself, he could move in a heartbeat and
sure.
eliminate that problem. So
Uh,
sometimes I'm like,
when your kids are
man,
at the age that his kids are, it's not you'll see when you get older, or when your kids get older, it's I mean that can I know that kids
that can weigh you
historically
down.
have
That
been ripped around, but I mean, I just don't think that I think he is always just wanted for his kids like a stable, great life. And I just think that moving in their senior year would not, or their junior year would not be that. Plus, they're going through a divorce. Like, you want to keep them.
I think that his mentality is a very comfortable man's mentality where it's like,
Sure.
I'm willing to take the risk that I just stay in this area, like get gouged because I want to conform and I don't want my kids to be, I want my kids to be different, but not that far out there because be honest, I'm kind of there too. And I want my kids to be different, but I don't want them I'm not at homeschooling point yet, or like living off grid, like
Right.
I want them to be
Right.
different, but within the system.
Sure.
and to maybe use the system a little bit. But I guess that's where Ace is at. But
Yeah.
he could save a lot of money by moving tomorrow. And
But like he always says, I'm
I
rich,
would
I don't care. It's
argue,
not about the money. It's about like what should be right for the kids or what should be right for, the country
well,
or
but he's very pragmatic. It's like, well, all the millions of dollars you would save you could just give to your kids in Nevada,
Hmm.
and then they could just buy Bitcoin and then just be able to just live alone in Nevada, like very far away from all these bastards, and venture out into this world if they wanted to. But if they didn't want to, they could just be completely independent of Disney and ABC
yeah.
and the uncle.
Uncle Jimmy. Fucking asshole.
Yeah, just I'm very conflicted by.
Uh,
I'm very conflicted, if I want to be honest. Like I'm very conflicted by how much I do not like Jimmy Kimmel. Like
I
I
don't
don't
like him
like it when
either.
I don't like someone that much, and I try to
I've never liked them.
I'm trying to explore like why I don't like this guy so much.
And what is your conclusion as to why you don't like the man so much?
I don't know that I've got a conclusion yet.
Mm.
I feel like he
I
doesn't
mean,
like
he's
Adam
in a sense, he's the guy in my front yard, like calling me out,
talking shit.
Oh,
talking
okay.
shit, who doesn't think anything's going to happen to him. But
Ever.
I'm like, I don't care if you're friends with Adam Carolla. I don't
Right?
care if his kids call you Uncle Jimmy. You are a dick to me. You
Yeah.
have been a dick to me. You weren't always, but at some point in time, you decided to become a dick to me because it was profitable. Right? Okay. I mean, maybe I'd be the same. I don't know. Okay. So like, let's just, I don't know.
At some
That's
point, it
cool.
feels
Like
like
you're
he
like,
went different,
mhm.
right? A
I
little bit
think
different. Like something happened, something shifted. Maybe he sold his soul. Who knows? Who can say?
as Adam would
But
say,
something
like, yeah,
shifted.
it does feel that way. Like where he was doing, in like, behind the asses of unsuspecting women on the man show bits, like, and now he's like,
Doing that to Tom Hanks.
he's, but
Yeah.
he's talking about how unvaccinated people should not get ICU beds if they're sick.
Yeah. You're having a heart attack.
But,
Good luck to you.
but
What do you say?
the,
Go gag,
the
go
beauty,
choke, go
the,
whatever.
he said, go, yeah, he said something like, have fun, Wheezy.
Yeah,
But at
Wheezy.
this,
So
so,
clever.
but at the same time, he's talking about how vaccinated people against COVID, people that have been vaccinated against COVID, need ICU beds. Well, isn't that interesting? You prick,
Hmm. Ironic.
prick.
Yeah. Why
Isn't
would
that
they need an
weird
ICU
how,
bed? I thought it was perfect.
isn't that weird how you're in a weird dialogue about comparing vaccinated people that need ICU beds because of COVID and unvaccinated people that need ICU beds because of COVID? Isn't that weird? Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with.
Oh, he was comparing if you need an ICU bed for a heart attack. If you've been vaccinated, come on through. If you
Yeah, or
haven't been
like if you
vaccinated and
act,
you're having a heart attack,
yeah, he
good
was
luck
getting
to you,
into
Wheezy.
the
Like that.
territory. If you've asked your doctor about ivermectin, like you should just
Yeah.
die. You should die.
Yeah. Hmm.
So like
Not that you're
The Ace Man this week did a what I would consider in Ace World's terms a very half-hearted, half-assed defense of his friend Jimmy Kimmel. That's how I see it because he was Ace when Ace did that bit on Kimmel. I think it was the second episode back from this year, and talking about the Aaron Rodgers bit, and it didn't last very long. But his only definitive case that he made for Jimmy Kimmel was that he was not a pedophile.
yeah.
Like he was like saying, I've traveled with this guy for so many years. He's not diddling kids, right? That
Yeah.
was his only defense. He wasn't like Jimmy was a real right on with COVID and all the stuff he was doing, all the stuff. He was just like, he's not a pedophile, which is like,
Well,
If
he also
if I started this episode by saying that the two of you are not pedophiles, would you feel like complimented, or would you be like, whoa, what? That's like the
obviously, yeah.
bare that's like the bare minimum. That's like the
Yeah,
bare minimum defense. Like, hey, my best friend is not a murderer. I didn't say
right.
that. Like, that's like the bare
He
minimum
also, I sent you
defense.
guys a clip. He kind of was defending Aaron Rodgers for his COVID
Yeah.
whatever on Dr. Drew's. Like, I think that he's conflicted.
I tried to,
Obviously so,
yeah,
and
you're exactly right.
rightfully so.
Fucking
Rightfully
A.
so.
Fucking A. So one of the 2023 Ace Awards rants of the year. I don't remember if it won. I tried to record it, but it was so long that I could not, it wouldn't let me like,
Get more space, motherfucker.
it wouldn't let me like do the
I'll get it.
whole
Tell me what it
like
is.
screen recording thing, but he was doing it was the, I think it was the very first one in the Ace Awards 2023 where they had just, it was early 2023. They had just seen the reports that basically the COVID lockdowns made all of American children dumber,
Oh,
which our enemies would love.
The studies
What
are
a,
in by
yeah.
what a
the results are
coincidence,
in.
like,
They are.
but like his focus
Not
more on
just the
like
kids.
it's like if you were China, what would you want? Would you like to stunt our growth 100% across the board? Yes, you would. But like his thing was more how we did it to ourselves internally. And he was going off on Randy Weingartner, the teachers unions, and the lockdown.
Right.
But notice, like, I wish I could play it right now. I wish I was that good. But like towards the end of that rant, it was not about the teachers unions. It was about all the celebrities that blew
That-
the
Didn't
D,
speak up.
that all the celebrities that did not speak up, that did not call out the bullshit, that called Adam Carolla a dick when he was
Yeah.
telling people he got played, and
I
that was ain't like I'm sorry, but like, well, you know what? Jimmy Kimmel probably never even listened to that rant because he
he
doesn't want
doesn't
to
listen
listen
to
to.
Adam. I feel like Adam is nothing to him. I don't know, maybe like their emotional relationship is deeper than like the social relationship, but there is literally no outpouring
We've
of
all been in those
support for Adam
relationships. Yeah,
Carolla.
we've all been in those relationships. Maybe not now, but in the past when we were younger and dumber, where like we had a
I just got out
feeling
of one,
but the other person did not have that feeling. You were just like
bro.
one of like the hundreds of people that they just gave gifts to, and
Yeah,
that their kids.
blindsided. Yeah. I feel
But
so
I
bad
get
for
it. I
Adam. I feel
get
like
it.
he's the
I get
person
it.
that they all talk about behind his back. He so Adam and Drew's show are going to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's a consecutive show for them. Instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're going to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And you can tell that they're like recording them back to back to back. So the
Mhm.
conversation's kind of fluid. But he was talking about like being with Daniel Kellison and how like the Sound of Freedom came up, and like it's interesting to see how his friends are just like, you lose people when you have these thoughts. You lose people when you're like, what? Like questioning narratives. Like people want to be safe. They want to be comfortable. They want to feel like there's no way our government's doing this. There's no way. They just want to feel safe. So if you are saying things that feel uncomfortable, they have a
Jim
name or they have
Adam
a
Adam Carolla Adam Carolla has never gone into full whore mode, right?
ever
He says things that cost him money.
for sure. He talks about
I
fuck
made a
me
comment
money and
like people
he may
think,
not have it, but
yeah,
he's doing it.
yeah, like people think, like I don't know, I can really get it on like feedback, but it's like Jimmy Kimmel had went full on Hollywood celebrity, pay me $20 million a year, whore mode. No offense to whores
Less offense.
who earn their 200, like pittance, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, he did it. Like he just full on like vaccine, Stephen Colbert vaccine dances, like because Jimmy Kimmel, I remember we forget history, but like there was a time where his late night show was the worst, had the worst ratings, was getting crushed by Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, who was like a even bigger douchebag. So Jimmy Kimmel was like, I got to be like more like he literally became more like Stephen Colbert with the dancing syringes and all that shit, repeating Jimmy Kimmel repeating all the Russian lies. Like he's worried about Aaron Rodgers putting his family at risk. He had
He
no
talks shit about
problem.
Aaron Rodgers.
He had no
He
problem.
started it.
Jimmy Kimmel literally like had no problem just straight up saying that there were PP tapes of Donald Trump getting pissed on in Moscow. He repeated that shit. Maybe just for a week or two until it was like so debunked that couldn't he couldn't show his face.
Right.
But when it was hot, when it paid, he repeated all that stuff. He repeated all of it,
You can
all the
Google
lies.
him. He started the stuff with Aaron Rodgers about the vaccine because Aaron Rodgers wouldn't get the vaccine. He
Hmm?
wouldn't get it. He
Yeah, Aaron
started it.
Rodgers,
Jimmy Kimmel started it.
in all fairness, Aaron Rodgers did not do himself any favors by lying about his immunized status. Because, like, just be
You
honest.
had to do what you had to do. You had to do what you had to do. I have a fake
Yeah.
card. You had to do what you had to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. They
I'm
really
just
do.
saying, I don't think it makes Aaron Rodgers a bad guy, but I'm just saying, like I said, he didn't do himself any favors, but Jimmy Kimmel decided because it paid to really jump on that Aaron Rodgers is a wacko bandwagon because it paid well.
Yeah,
And it
sure
like
did.
if before, just what I would like to say is not even Jimmy Kimmel's like to his writing staff at that time, you lazy bastards, you absolute
Yeah.
laziest some bitch bastards, orange hair joke telling bastards. You are so lazy. You couldn't look
Listen
at
to this.
you couldn't look at our society and like find other funny stuff. You had to
Oh,
100%
lazy.
put your stuff into the orange hair, mean tweets, Donald Trump buffoon.
It's
Disgusting.
House and Habit, who you guys, I always talk about her, but she literally went to his event and she honestly thinks that they're using an orange filter on him. She's like, he's not orange. His hair is not
Oh yeah,
weird
yeah, for
yellow.
sure.
Like he's normal colored. His hands are normal sized and his hair is normal. Like they are putting filters on him to make him look orange.
Mm-hmm.
Like the orange man is an absolute
This has been
narrative.
proven.
It's
This
not
has
even
already been.
real.
This is like there's like during his present just so many cases of filtering, photo filtering, like yeah, just
Ugh.
putting like well, but at the same time, it's like you got to be like that like colors set humans off. You know what I mean? Like it's like they're just like hey everybody, you can just kind of turn up the red tint in this picture, and like people get real mad. Like people get real mad.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
they got a lot of power.
Orange man bad.
They
Oh,
figured it out.
well,
A lot of those folks have figured it out that like just they got the handle the dimmer switch, and there's like a little more red tint, a little more orangey. Like oh, orange seems to kind of upset people.
Let's go with this.
crazy. It's so crazy. And you know what? We have to buckle up because it's
Do we?
like every week it's just going to be like you said today. We had a school shooting disappear in like 5 hours, like from the
Mm,
news cycle. Like it was
yep.
gone. So, we gotta be prepared that it's going to come in. We have aliens at a mall in Miami. We have a sixth grade school shooter. We have like all of these crazy things happening in like 48 hours. So we just got to buckle up. Like it's
Oh
all going to
yeah,
be weird.
yeah.
Shit's getting
2024 is
weird.
gonna be. Yeah, I'm literally like, I wonder what Hollywood's gonna
Let's
come up with.
fucking go.
I think the aliens in the mall is a Hollywood production. If you're Christopher, as far as like what they're gonna come up with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are they gonna like? They're gonna if Ron DeSantis was. I was saying today, if Ron DeSantis was somehow became the nominee, they would tell you that he was the architect of Epstein's Island.
Mm.
Like the people that support Ron DeSantis don't understand that if he was the front runner, he would be a Chinese and Russian spy.
Right.
He would be Jeffrey Epstein's handler. He would be Ron DeSantis would be a Mossad agent.
Hmm.
In addition, like he would be he would also be real into voodoo. I'm not
Well, he
joking
wears the
around.
high
Like
heels. He wears the high
Voodoo.
heels. It's already, I mean,
that's like nothing. They would come up with the thing. They would be like him and his wife were in like a weird swinger club where they kill people.
Right.
Like him and
mhm.
they would. I'm not joking because this is exactly what they did to Donald Trump. After
Oh,
they
yeah.
loved him, they turned him
Yeah,
into a super villain. They like Ron DeSantis people don't realize that they will take him in his freaking boots, his weird ass boots,
Hmm.
and they will say, Boots, nothing. You're a Chinese, Russian spy, pedophilia, like pedophile. You made COVID. They would be like, like Ron DeSantis funded the labs. They'd be like
yeah,
Wuhan Ron. They would make up every horrible thing about him. And
Hmm.
like, because he's not the front runner, they haven't done it yet. But if
right.
he was, he would be Trump times Hitler
Drag.
to the 100th degree spy,
Yeah,
Russian
but he
agent.
was never going to be the front runner, so it's just not going to happen.
He's not, but that's the dynamic they don't understand is like, because their point is like Trump didn't do all these things. So it's like they were trying to frame him as a Russian agent before he even took an oath,
Hmm.
before he was the president. They were trying to tell us that he was a Russian agent. And I don't appreciate
Thanks,
people that,
Obama.
yeah, Obama did it. Obama spied on Donald
Yeah,
Trump when
thanks.
he was a candidate, straight up. So
Thanks.
like, but Donald Trump didn't do that, did he? He could have done that. He could have done exactly what Obama did and did all the same stuff to Biden, but he didn't. He probably couldn't because the deep state was not for him. But
Hmm.
in the future, when you discover that your candidate is being just spied upon by the existing, like, you can thank Obama for that, or Nixon, or let's not. I guess
Right,
we shouldn't pretend like Obama was the first. He was just kind of taking it to
for
a new
sure.
level.
I like to blame him for everything, though. It's my
Yeah,
favorite.
thanks Obama,
Thanks, Obama.
but it's like thanks Nixon, thanks Reagan, thanks all you motherfuckers.
Yeah, you can get a hat made that says "Thanks, Obama."
Thanks all you.
Thanks.
That
But
should
yeah, I think they were just like, it's just, that's what folks like. That was like my takeaway from the Trump was like they loved him. He was on
Oh,
every
he was
show, and then they hated him instantly.
for no.
Instant
It was
because he was entering a
so
world that
crazy
he was not approved for.
because they told them to hate him. That's why
Yeah, well,
we were told to hate him.
they were like, you're
Grabbing
fine
people
as
by the
long as you
pussy, like that's a
stay.
bad
Yeah.
thing.
It was fine as long as he stayed in the entertainment world.
Right.
But as soon as he
Yeah.
was like, you know what, I think I'm going to do something about some of these things, they were like, oh,
They used
oh
to beg him,
no, oh
Donald, you should run
no.
for president. There's like they when they would have him on the talk shows and like
Oprah wanted to be his
super
VP.
hype him up. Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey, at one point, at least by her own words, in Oprah Winfrey's lifetime, in your lifetime, if you're listening
Hmm.
to this, Oprah
Women used to
Winfrey
swoon over
suggested that
him.
she would be Donald Trump's vice president.
Barbara Walters literally swooned. Like he like kind of hugged her and like swooned for him. Like women
These
were
are
obsessed with him. He was
men and women, whatever, like these are media whores. Not because they were that for Donald Trump, because they were that for whatever the current thing was.
You're right.
We were kind of getting on that in the happy hour because I was saying about 25 years ago, Russ was saying 30 years ago, like you would have journalists on MSNBC and CNN, and even though you knew they were left leaning, they were trying very hard to not look like that. And they were trying very hard to like give Republicans and conservatives kind of like their perspective and like earnestly Like give
Tucker
them,
started on CNN.
yeah, give them
So
credit.
different.
Like they would like I'm thinking about a lot of the guys that were on like that are now on Morning Joe,
Right.
like Donnie
Okay.
Deutsch, like Mike Barnacle, if he's not canceled already, or like Mike Halperin, he's been canceled. Like
Oh.
all those guys that are like that once Trump was elected went completely in on Russian collusion. Like
Right.
what I saw in my lifetime is that those guys were trying really, really hard 30 years ago to be fair, even though they
Right.
thought a certain way. And even though they were for Bill Clinton or for Obama or for, Al Gore
Hmm.
or Michael Dukakis, they tried really hard when they were on TV to give the other side some credibility. And what I witnessed in my lifetime was like once Donald Trump was elected, those very same people, like Mark, like maybe these names aren't familiar to people, but Mike Barnicle, maybe even Chris Matthews,
Right.
Mike Halperin, a lot of these guys that are on like these Showtime and HBO, like that are now like they've made a millions of dollars off of anti-Trump podcasts.
Right.
Those
Sure.
guys were on Don Imus 30 years ago, like like shitting on Al Gore, like
Right.
being like trying really hard to be fair. And when Donald
Because
Trump was
journalism
elected,
used to be a thing. It's no longer a thing.
yeah,
Journalism
these
is not a thing
people,
anymore.
it's the character of this class of people, this journalistic class, and wherever they
The
come from,
character.
right? Where they come from a world where they can afford to go to college on a potentially not profitable career path.
Right.
But they didn't
Sure.
care because it was like they were good. They had they were good. Either way, they were good.
Right.
But like there's a class of people that completely changed in 2016 from being completely fair, like trying so hard to be fair, even on MSNBC, to just flipping a switch to being like just
If they
not
got
even
told that the
not
greater
even
good
hiding
was
it.
you have to believe that this is what we are all believing today. It's
Yeah.
for the greater good. It's for the greater good.
It's just the definite, like, I know, like, horror sound, it's just a negative word, but it's like, that's like, to me, that's the definition of like, they were just they just went along to get along. Or when it was convenient and okay to just be really unfair, they were like, when it was like a requirement to be fair, they did it. As soon as it was what not a requirement to be fair, their character was like, fuck it.
That's the,
Don't need to be
yeah.
fair. Like instantly, 2016, instantly, November, late November, early December. I was on a family vacation. I remember seeing the turn.
Hmm.
I remember seeing the turn to where Donald Trump was a Russian spy.
Yeah.
He hadn't even taken office yet.
They are propagandizing us. Like we are more and more being pushed to hate each other so that we're not looking at them like it's the skin color, it's who you're voting for, it's what you think about soccer, it's like all of the things, like fucking nuts,
Yeah, my
crazy.
generation, for my generation, I'm 51, getting close to 52. I grew up my formative years with a Red Scare. Like I remember seeing Nightline and like very like 2020 specials about like the possibility of nuclear war. So I had
Oh
been
Hmm.
my
through
God.
I've been through the Red Scare
Sure.
before,
Yeah.
and I actually at that time believed it was true. But when like the Red
Yeah.
Scare, when the Red Scare pattern emerged again,
Wait a minute.
I was like,
It
This
was at the beginning of COVID. I
oh,
remember we were driving back
hold
from the
on.
gym and I told Bill, I said, I have been scared my whole fucking life. I've been under desks, scared of bombs, scared of nuclear war. Like, I am not
scared of herpes.
falling down for this. I am not gonna wear a mask. I'm not washing my hands. Like, fuck this. Like, this is ridiculous. And 3 days later, they shut the gym. We couldn't go back.
Yeah, it was like when you watch horror movies back in the
Hmm.
day and they were new, you got tricked by them, but then by like the third or fourth, like Halloween
Yeah.
part 4,
Yeah.
You were just like, all right, I've
Got
seen
it.
this. I've seen this whole Red Scare thing before. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I've kind of got I've watched I if I'm honest, I've seen you play my emotions before about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're wrong, but
Right.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna like the whole Donald Trump's a Russian agent thing. I'm gonna look at this with a little bit with an eyebrow raised.
Hmm.
But they're not. They didn't, and they don't, and they
I
still
did, but
don't.
like half the country did and half the country didn't.
So
Half the
frustrating.
country did and half the country didn't. Probably divvied up by age, or, or like gullibility, like just gullibility, like just
I
the
think
same
people just want to be
people.
comfortable.
I'm
Easier to
still
believe
haven't
that.
figured it out where the same people that watched Apprentice and liked the show, they don't understand why they like the show. And they did, and then when Trump announced and they hated Donald Trump, they also didn't understand why they hated Donald Trump. And I guess
Yeah,
my
and
thing
now
would
they're
be
still being
like,
spoon fed all the things that they're supposed to hate. They put the Ukraine
yeah,
flag up, they put the Black Lives Matter flag up, they put the all of the flags come up.
yeah,
It's the
my,
same people.
if I had to give like a first take would be like, we just, like, it's just like a weird self-hate, like a self-hatred thing. Like maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why so many people like bought back into it.
I mean, I think it's the same group think of the mob mentality. Like everybody's saying this. Like it has not been comfortable to lose friends and have people that I really care about say like that I am crazy or even and then even as the stuff comes true that I was called crazy for 3 years ago, as it comes to pass and true, no one circles back and says, "Hey Q, I'm really sorry that I fucking deleted you on Facebook," or like no
Yeah, I
one's
don't.
my aunt hasn't called and said, "You know what, honey, I'm sorry that I never called you again, like never wished
I
you
have
another
some
happy
relatives.
birthday," or like what?
I have some relatives that I noticed unfriended me in the last few years, and it's like
Yeah.
you're never coming back.
No, I don't want them. I don't want them
Your
back. I don't want them
decision,
to circle back.
yeah, your decision is final. Like Ace Man says, your relationship with me will be what you think it should be, and now it is nothing.
Always, always, always. I am always, always just like what you're gonna give, I'm gonna give it back to you. So yeah. Welcome to 2024.
Mm-hmm.
All
I'll be right back.
right, guys. Oh, okay.
I think he needed to,
I
tend to
know.
his tent.
We could have just wrapped it up though, because we're getting close to 9. So
Yeah, and I figure we can't rap without him. So at least let's end it up on a lighter note. The whole mustard as a binder for your steaks and all that stuff for ground beef for like hamburgers. Are you a fan of that?
I think the like in mustard, there's like a little bit of vinegar. I think that that's where like there's might be a little bit of softening, and then I know that I use mustard for emulsifying for like dressings, so it makes sense that it would be a binding agent.
Right.
I can't say that I've ever like slathered down a prime rib or a tomahawk with mustard.
Right.
Um, but I can see how it could make the meat, with the vinegar and the mustard. I could see how that would be a working agent. But no, I haven't done it. I've also never done the reverse sear. Um,
Neither
but
have I.
I am 100% a person who believes that barbecuing only, I don't know about smoking, but I know about grilling, pan searing, oven cooking. I know that for steak and chicken, for sure, that like it's time. Like, 7 minutes aside, like the
Mm-hmm.
time, it's timing for me. I don't even have to use a meat thermometer. I just know that the time always kind of works out. So if you have the
Oh
timing
shit.
right, yeah,
You got down to
yeah.
science, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think it's if you have the right weight, the right time, if you know your oven, if you know your grill,
Mm-hmm.
it's about the time and not, yeah. But I like I said, I've never done a reverse sear. If you spend $80 on a tomahawk, or it's kind of hard to go a new pattern. I don't have APL. or a pedophile texting me directions to
Oh my god.
cook my meat. That's just me. I have to go by Ina Garten, and she's never failed me. So,
Who's in the garden? I'm not familiar with her.
she's from the Food Network, old
I
school
know
Food
her.
Network. She used to cook for Jeffrey, her husband Jeffrey. So
Oh,
I remember
okay.
she is my
Jeffrey.
go-to. She's my go-to for steak, and she's all about time, like the time of it, timing. So,
Isn't she the barefoot gardener?
Contessa,
Oh no,
the barefoot Contessa.
barefoot. Oh, okay. That's close.
Yeah, yeah,
I've seen Ida Garden shows, yeah.
yeah. I love her. We were
I
talking
think she's
about
cool.
mustard as a binder before we wrap.
Yeah.
Oh, what I said we should do something like Epstein Island.
We'll say that for the next
Oh,
episode.
you're thinking mustard as a binder. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't, man, it's like very conflicting when I spent a lot of time listening to the Adam Carolla show over the
I do
last
use it
10
for
years.
my ground beef when I'm making hamburger patties, but not on my steak. So that's where I stand with it.
Not every steak,
I've
right?
never
But
used it on any of my steaks.
Yeah,
like
I've
a
never.
flank, I don't know if a flank steak is technically a steak. It is, I guess it is because it's called a flank
Delicious.
steak, but like
Yeah, I love a
flank
flank steak.
steak is definitely because anything you have to marinate for a while,
Hmm.
Sure.
which I think it's been scientifically proven that like you need to let if you season meat like beef, you need to let it season for like an hour
Mm. Minimum, right?
minimum. So if there's a piece of beef that you're marinating for longer than an hour, you might as well slap some yellow mustard on there and see. You know. In addition to other stuff, I did a post about that, and some people were making comments about whether or not it improved the flavor. That was not my point. My point
Hmm.
was like, how could Ace Man never have heard of this before?
I maybe because he never tried barbecuing or whatever, smoking on his own. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I mean
because
that's a reason. That's a reason. I don't
because
like it.
why
Like
are you taking it?
you tell me in like the last 12 years, he's never like had a moment where he had to grill a steak, like and like look up, like
I'm sure a steak, sure, but
he's just like throwing salt on it at the last minute, throwing on the Weber.
I
Like,
feel like he always has that stuff like outsourced. He'll be like at a steakhouse
yeah,
or a restaurant that specializes in that, but him himself having to do it, especially the way he grew up, kind of like with roommates and whatnot, he's not gonna have like a grill or a smoke or just be like, you know what, let me dedicate today to this. So I could kind of understand why,
I
he'd be a
guess
little bit.
so. Yeah, I get that. Or because he grew up the way he did, he's like wanting to smoke meat,
Mhm.
like create and like make meat in abundance for his family because he did not have that.
Yeah.
So the whole like he just his response is like outsource all the meat cooking to someone else. Like,
Someone that's more qualified, and that way I could just not have to worry about
yeah,
screwing
it's
the
like
whole thing over.
okay, maybe. Yeah, if
I
I
feel
was
like
rich,
that's why he's divorced. If I had to guess, I would say that's why he's
Wow.
divorced.
I would just say if I was rich, I probably maybe I wouldn't like I'd probably be like
I
doing a
mean, if
lot
you
more
don't know how to cook
stuff.
a steak as a man, you don't have to cook. You don't know how to cook a fucking steak.
Mm.
Or- We're gonna be married forever? No, we're not. No, we
Yeah.
are not.
That's kind of my
Sorry,
point
sir.
is like you're telling
We're
me
not.
you're telling me in the last 20 years you've never like just watched a few like
Crazy.
because you could like if you looked up if you went to YouTube right now
Hmm.
and you were like what's the best way to like season snake steak.
You're out here grilling snakes. Is that
So
what you're doing, Christopher?
it's erotic. We're in an erotic part. But like if you're to and you like if
Oh my
you could
God.
spend like 10 minutes on YouTube and you will see someone slathering
Uh,
yellow mustard on a
a
piece of
snake.
and or snake, the Deacon Jones
Yeah.
of and a snake. Or when you go upside when you throw some yellow mustard upside a man's face or a snake's face,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense at all. But
It doesn't. Not even a little bit.
that was my point. Was like, how could you never have even heard about this. Like you spend
Right,
10
right.
minutes on like meat cooking YouTube and you're seeing dudes with yellow mustard.
Yep.
And my personal like experience is like we've been using yellow mustard on stuff like that, like London broil. I think
Mhm.
before flank steak became popular, London broil was the thing of the 80s. It was just like a
Sure.
cheap piece of beef that had pretty good fat, but you just had to like roast it a long time
Mm-hmm.
or go low and slow on it a long time and just mustard and just
You're set.
again, people, I don't
Mustard
care.
has vinegar, and so it like breaks down the meat.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
mustard
yeah.
is to break down the tissue. So I mean,
Yeah, it's
it
not all
makes
about the
sense.
flavor, but it get people like, oh, I've tried it. It doesn't do anything no matter what. Doesn't do anything to the flavor no matter what. It's like that was not my point.
It's not the flavor, it's a
Mm.
binder. It's the same as why you use it to emulsify a dressing. Like it's a binder. Mustard's a binder.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here
Mustard.
first, everybody.
Mustard. So
Mustard.
it's a really interesting condiment back in grade school.
And now we
Mustard.
know about Adam Carolla. Like we know everything we really need to know. If we didn't know, like based on like the way he wears his shoes or his pants, now we know. Now we know for sure.
I love the Ace Man. And as a
I do
parting,
too.
one of the rants, I don't know if we talked about this, I think before, like maybe in the happy hour, but one of the rants of 2023 nominees, I'm not sure if it won or not, but one of the nominees for Rant of the Year 2023 was when early in 23, we got the reports that basically the COVID lockdowns made all of our kids dumber.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam did a rant where he started on Randy Weingartner, the head of the biggest teachers union, and how they were effing with Congress and the CDC to like basically rewrite the rules for school reopenings. But towards the end of that rant, he was going into celebrities hard. Hard. He was naming names. He didn't name Jimmy Kimmel, but he was naming a lot of big names and asking them why they didn't speak out,
Mm-hmm.
why they
Wait,
weren't
did I have a
speaking out.
stroke or did we already have this conversation?
Did we? Well, I think we had it before we recorded
Oh, okay.
or during happy hour.
Okay.
And you also may have had a stroke. Enjoy it.
It's possible.
Enjoy the euphoric feeling where you start drooling. Like this is right now is your best moment.
Oh,
But
thank God.
like he was saying, like he was yelling, he was going crazy. Like, where the fuck were you, Lady Gaga or Kevin? Like, I'm just like naming big celebrity names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Basically all the ones that were telling you to get vaccinated, so you come to their
Sure.
shows, so that you could give them money. All the celebrities that were saying to get this and do that, so that their lives and checks could just keep rolling in.
Mm-hmm.
He was going after them big time. And like, I'm sorry, but Jimmy Kimmel is smack dab in the middle of that target.
Sure.
He was a celebrity that was not only not speaking out against all this bullshit, but was like just repeating all the government lies.
Yeah. Not only not
Was
speaking out, but
blowing
speaking.
Fauci, was blowing Fauci nightly
Yeah.
in words, like
Agreed.
not
Yeah, not
again,
physically, not
not
on his
physically,
knees, but
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I got it.
metaphorically. But it's like just
Of course.
yeah, he made a choice. And I believe Adam that like Jimmy's probably a good guy, but like he made a choice. And to me, that makes him very unsympathetic.
Jimmy would never defend Adam, and it makes me mad. It makes me feel like Adam is a.
Yeah.
Mm. It just makes me feel different about Adam.
Or
Hearing like the way
even
he went
worse,
so deep. Like
even
he's
worse.
never defended you one time, and probably he's talked shit about you, and you're gonna come on your platform and defend him?
You know what's more
Ugh,
insulting?
let him fight his own battle.
What's more insulting is that
Pussy.
he would defend Adam and would do things to help Adam make money, just not publicly.
Ah, it's even worse.
Damn, son.
Even worse.
Unless
Fuck
he needed
Jimmy
a
Kimmel.
fill-in guest, Like,
Mm-hmm.
but it was always
I
like
don't even think he lets him do that anymore, right?
yeah.
Did he
Yeah,
let him
Jimmy
write on the
Kimmel
Oscars?
for
No.
Adam Carolla's podcast, I believe that Jimmy Kimmel did the live 10-year anniversary, maybe, or like 3,000, whatever that was. Like
He
in
was at
LA.
the 10-year. I
Yeah,
remember him being there.
he did that one. And if if that wasn't the only thing he had ever shown up for,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call it obligatory.
Laughs with Ball Brian, right? Because it wasn't Baby Doll like we can't have Jimmy come to this. Like what? Who's gonna come, baby? Right?
Mm,
Wasn't that like the whole joke?
yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
that factors into my theory, but yeah, because I think Jimmy is just maybe that's just behind the scenes, but like he was never like publicly when Adam was getting shit on Twitter
Never
for his
once. Never once.
you all pussies got played tweet. Yeah, you didn't see Jimmy
No
like
defense.
you didn't see Jimmy bringing Adam on the next day. Like Adam on his first episode back 2024
Mm-hmm.
spent 10 minutes talking about Adam Perry Lang.
Yeah. Bro. And yeah, wild, right?
What a coincidence.
Mm. No
Yeah, I was
coincidences in
insulted.
2024. We have to stop believing in coincidences. We have to
Yeah, I
start
was
saying,
insulted today. I
what
was
if that?
insulted today. I was insulted today on the internet,
Good.
because I thought like maybe we should maybe that's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, like, oh, you dipshit, like I'm thinking you're a dipshit for not thinking it's a coincidence, for not
Yeah.
like at least thinking about, wow, that's weird. That's
Yeah.
weird that the Epstein thing is being revisited big time and Jimmy Kimmel's in the crosshairs. And why is Jimmy Kimmel in the crosshairs? Because his chef.
Yeah. But no
And
one
then
wants to talk about that, right?
Adam starts his year off telling like a 10-15 minute story, glowing story about how his good friend was like walking him through cooking a tomahawk steak.
Yeah. Send him these big, huge tomato. Ugh. Gross.
I've been listening to Adam Carolla for a long time. And I think that if he was in my shoes, he would be like, wow, that's a weird coincidence.
Yeah. I think you're right.
And there's no way that Adam Carolla is thinking like, if Adam Carolla like paid attention to what I said,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way
Right.
that Adam Carolla is sitting around thinking like, oh, that Chrissy is a real dick. He's totally wrong. Like, what the
I
fuck?
hope
He
he
must
does
be
think that about
crazy.
us. I hope he is listening and I hope he hears it and I hope he thinks,
He's
wow.
not. He's not like, oh, those guys are fucking crazy. He's like,
Right.
I, yeah, he's like, I gotta get it. Yeah,
Right.
y'all make a good point. Hence his rant. One of his nominees for rant of 2023, he was saying, all you celebrities that actually got paid to do commercials to do vaccinations or workplace sterilization company. Remember that workplace sterilization company that popped up? Like get the COVID sterilized environment seal of approval. And like
How could we forget?
every celebrity was on that, like Lady Gaga, like Kevin Hart, like every celebrity you can think of that currently had a deal with Disney
Mm-hmm.
in that commercial, talking about how you should get your office should get
Disgusting.
the COVID-19 official seal of
I don't
approval.
trust any of them now. I don't trust any of them.
Yeah,
Every one of them, I'm like, sus.
it was a
Sorry.
turning point. I think that history will tell us that that was a turning point in America's relationship with celebrities. And Adam was
For
kind of
sure.
prophetic in that too, where he was, saying even before it happened, he was like, people have stopped caring what Steven Spielberg, who Steven Spielberg tells you to vote for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like people
Yeah.
have got, yeah, we were already beyond that.
But not everybody. Like there are still people that are just like so up their ass.
Yeah,
It's
you're right.
wild to me.
I hope
It's
that
wild.
half the country is completely beyond that, and the other half is still struggling with it.
Yeah.
Still
Well, I
struggling
hope
with,
that,
well, I
as
like
these
Lady
lists come out,
Gaga. Like I really like Lady Gaga's music.
I show that picture of
And
her eating the
yeah,
blood. Like, why is she at this party? Why is there a barefoot child at this party? Like, why is this party happening where they have a dead body in blood that's a cake? What? It's a cake? It's a cake. Like in a coffin covered in
pretty
blood, a
weird.
dead body. Like, why is that a cake? It's weird.
It's pretty
And
weird.
there's a child there with no shoes on and looks scared. Why is
I'll
she
tell you
there?
what, it was the weirdest quinceanera I've ever been to.
Exactly.
You
I'm
know,
so
it's like
sick of these
freaking
people.
bizarre. It's bizarre. I walked out after like 2 hours. You know,
I
I was
know.
like, I will not stand for this after 2 hours.
If I post that picture, I'll get in trouble. Like the stuff that I have on my phone, I'm
Hold off
probably
on
going to
posting
end
it
up
then.
in a like a FEMA jail cell for having pictures of a Hunter Biden like gagging a little girl with his penis. Like it's
The only,
ridiculous.
can I tell
Jesus, dude.
you, we'll wrap, but the only place that you could actually get away with posting that is X.
I don't know how to work it. Every time I go there, all I see is
You
like
could, but like,
your
because
tweets.
Facebook, Instagram is TikTok, oh, completely controlled.
When I share like a meme that I think is funny, but it's from like my oily girls page. She has a ton of followers, avocados and chickpeas. She has tons of followers, but she gets shadow banned all the time. If I share one of her stories, I I get zero views for days.
Yeah,
Like
on X,
it's ridiculous.
on X, you'd have hundreds of people being like, "Yeah, these people are fucked up."
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen this before,
crazy.
and this is, like, you have like a lot of crazies chiming in, but you'd see a lot of normies being like, "Yeah, and this is
Maybe for 2024, I'm
something's
gonna
not
figure out how to
right."
maneuver X.
On X, they'd be like, "Something's not right," and just they're there on the X app because they don't like it, but they appreciate that it's there. Like, it's not
Right,
hidden, it's not blocked. It's just ugliness and horror in your face.
right.
All for
That's
you as
heavy
much
for
as
a
you can
Friday.
handle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Cheers, you
But I
guys.
suggested, and I really can't, because I would like people to know, like, be in tune with what's really going on. Like, yeah, the X app is like really like the closest thing you can get to a real, honest feed of what real people think is going on in the world, in wherever they are right now, all the time. And you got to filter through it because there's always, out of every 100, there's always a bunch of people talking shit. But like,
Right.
you'll see the pattern of the 75% of them that are just saying the same thing, that our
Interesting.
mortgage rates are too high, or
Right.
um like, I have a weird X following group, follower, whatever, like, of like Manchester United fans around the world, which is very international. So I just see like Africans, Asians, just kind of
Interesting.
on the same account that I got the whatever connected with them about Manchester United. They're like posting about their local politics,
Okay.
conditions, whatever, and it's like, sometimes it's kind of like too much, but sometimes it's like, oh wow, that's the same. Yeah, you're in like a part of the world never heard of before, but you've got the same problems.
Yeah.
Dealing with the same bullshit.
Yeah, I couldn't recommend it more. It is
All
really
right.
like, it's a raw feed. It's a
Well,
raw
I'm gonna
feed.
go look tomorrow.
I told you
I'm
you
gonna
can
go look
just take over
tomorrow.
the Endless Rainers account and just
All right.
get
Start
knee
saying my
get knee
unhinged
deep,
shit.
get neck
All
deep,
right.
not even
Just
knee deep,
All
neck
right.
deep in that conspiracy theory war.
Okay.
look up a quick YouTube tutorial on how to operate X, and then you'll be good to go.
How to be unhinged. Okay. I will look up a YouTube tutorial on how to
Yes,
manage X
exact.
and I'll
That's
get the passwords
exactly
and stuff.
that
And
is exactly what he said. How to be unhinged on X,
sorry.
which is like,
My
it's two
bad.
different meanings.
Seriously, man.
You search the internet for that. You search the internet for that, you're gonna have an experience.
I do not recommend either of those actions. So just look up a YouTube
All right,
tutorial.
fine. I'll be normal hinged.
There you
Normal
Yeah, one
go.
hinged
thing,
on
like,
X.
I just say what's on my mind on X, and something like sometimes like some real fucking jackasses
Enough X.
weigh in who think I'm on their side, and they're like weird racist, like fucking fucked up stuff.
Hmm.
I
Nice.
just tell them to go fuck off, like, because so it's disturbing, but at the same time, you need to know that those people are out there.
Yeah.
Like there is a small subsection of Trump supporters that are just like whacked out
For
freakazoid,
sure.
like racist weirdos.
Hardliners,
But
yeah.
I don't think that's a majority. But
Yeah.
you need to know that. So like, yeah, people come and like reply and like think that I mean something else by what I'm saying and like take it a step further. And I just I tell them to go get get the fuck out. But it's like at the same time, like I don't like knowing they're out there, but I want to know that there is,
Right.
like there are crazy people out there on both sides. And they should all
Right.
subscribe to this podcast
Exactly. And
for,
most of them might.
for a re-education on crystals and all kinds of stuff.
And doing what you
All
want.
kinds of stuff. How to marinate meat. I mean, shit.
Yep. That was
The gamut.
that was my takeaway. Yeah. Not just that
Yeah.
Ace was talking about this guy. That's like this weird news figure. But
Yeah.
yeah,
He
you
doesn't know
never
how to
heard of that?
grill or smoke or I mean,
The
all
man
of the
can build
things
you
that
a
he
house,
says
and
that he
that's
doesn't do. He doesn't go down. He doesn't like it. I feel like he's lazy in a lot of ways that
I
you
hadn't
don't
really
need your
thought about
husband
that
to be.
one, but
Yeah. It
try to
adds up.
try
It
to
adds up.
try to add that to my matrix of something or of opinions.
It makes
things
me
to take into
understand Lynette's position.
things to take into consideration.
Yep.
All right, everybody.
Up to you guys.
It's
Happy
good to see you
Friday.
guys again.
Good to be
See
Sorry,
back.
you
Robbie couldn't
guys.
be here.
He'll be China Rob will
Oh,
join us next week, hopefully.
you call him China Rob.
Yep.
China Rob.
That's
China
right.
with a
Yep.
Y. With a
Yep.
Y.
China Rob.
Does he has a round face, maybe? Like,
No. We'll
All
let
right.
people
I have
know
round
next week
faces.
why we're referring to Robbie Spotlight as China Rob. But in the
Yeah, but
meantime,
in the meantime, just go off on whatever crazy ass conspiracy theory tangents you want.
do what you want, get it on, everybody.
Get it on, do what you want.
Get it on.